Well, hello there, my dear children of the apocalypse. How are we doing today? When you go shopping, you're actually talking to an NPC. You know, the woman at the cash register scanning your items. Click, click. That'll be £7.54. That's NPC. Now, I don't mean that she's actually an NPC. It's not like it's part of some greater matrix, but NPC stands for non-player character, right? And those of us who play video games and have done various role-playing games like RuneScape or whatever, NPCs are characters that they're always there, they're present for everybody, but they don't really have any kind of meaning to give you. Now, chances are you might know the cashier. Chances are that if you're a regular at the store, for example, the place where I do my shopping, there's an elderly lady, probably like 50 plus years old, I always strike a conversation with. You know, it's like, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, you know, just doing some shopping. I'm busy now, blah, 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 blah. You know, some like weather. It's a Monday. It's a short reciprocating conversation because she's not really an NPC for me. But the majority of people are. And we encounter them on a daily basis. Now, in my book, I write about a engagement which I remembered for the rest of my life. I remember this as it was yesterday, but it happened in 2015 or maybe 2016. And back then I was still studying English at the University of Ljubljana, and a couple of my classmates, we went to get lunch at the Chinese place. We stroll in, we sit down, we order our noodles or meal menu, whatever it was, right? Stir fry, crispy chicken. And there was an older lady sitting at a table just next to us. Now, I don't recall how the conversation started. I don't recall anything about anything, but you would probably argue that if you're sitting in a restaurant with a bunch of your friends, all the other people in the restaurant, they're just NPCs. Technically, even the waiter is an NPC for you, right? You're the main characters, you and your three buddies sitting at the table, chatting about women and what you have to study for and the exam that's coming up and all that. But the waiter is an advanced version of the NPC, and all the other people eating there, you don't notice them. But the lady I noticed, or rather, the lady noticed us. And she must have said something. Maybe she overheard our conversation. She probably heard that our English was quite good, seeing that we were English students. And she must have struck a conversation, or maybe just made a remark. Maybe just like she heard part of the conversation, just decided she was going to say something. And I think most of my friends, I think most people in general, won't reply. I'm going to sneeze. Now, most people put into that position won't react. In fact, the average response of the average person is to just ignore it. Somebody says something to you, just ignore them altogether. I'm not like that. Chances would have it, I love NPC encounters because you have nothing to lose by them. If anything, maybe a little bit of time, but usually you gain stuff from NPC conversations. You create rapport and you get to learn something new. So I struck a short conversation with this lady. Turns out, and she was like in her late 50s or early 60s, she was an older lady. She was Brazilian and she was working for, guess what? The Brazilian embassy, which I didn't know was right above the Chinese place where we were eating. Makes sense, right? She also got to have lunch. And I thought about it, what are the odds? You know, four of us at right place at the right time with that lady also sitting there. She wants to have a short combo. But I assume she must have said something about her English being good. And we were like, yeah, you know, I'm an English student, blah, blah, blah. And she ended the conversation. The conversation was bland. The conversation was useless. I mean, if you derive or try to derive any kind of relevant purpose from just that part of the conversation, useless. But she ended it with a statement that I will remember for the rest of my life. She said, always doubt everything. Always question everything. And she left. And I bet you the three buddies sitting next to me, they didn't care because they probably didn't bother listening to the conversation. They went right back to jabbing about English and women and what's for the exam and, you know, what are we doing in the next period. But something resonated with me. It was almost like this NPC had given me some juicy bit of information, you know, red meat. And I've carried it around with me ever since that day. And everything I do, everything I read, everything people tell me, whether this is institutionalized, let's say the university tells you something, whether I read it in a book, and it's a renowned psychologist. Let's say I'm reading something from Jordan Peterson, whether it's red pill related, right? Like I'm reading Rollo Tomasi or watching a podcast or any information that I receive from whomever I might be receiving it. I no longer go, oh, that makes sense, right? I might say that, but inside my head, I'm always thinking like, but is it really? I doubt it, and I doubt it on purpose. And I've realized that as you start doing this, as it becomes routine-ish, it's great because it allows for an objective view of something that other people, other NPCs, might give you as the subjective truth. And that's what I want you to take from this video. And that's what I want people who are going to read it, read that essay, read that excerpt, for them to be able to take some kind of derivative information from that. Anyhow, I've decided to include the entire essay for you, free of charge to read. It is available on my website in the description below, and you will also find a course, which is going to be, whether it's available at the moment, I don't know, because I'm recording this video in advance, but there is a course that I'm working on for English pronunciation. And it's not just English pronunciation. We're dwelling a little bit deeper. In fact, I want to teach people the art of body language, the art of mimic, the art of eye contact, all these things. This is not just a course that's gonna go through the theoretical bullshit that nobody cares about. I don't want this to be an NPC type made course. I want it to be something that you will look at, you will consume, you'll get to meet other people, you get to talk to other people. And at the end of the course, I think you will become not just better at English, not just better at speaking or writing or reading, but you'll become a better person all throughout. Because what's the point of giving you this robotic, almost AI structured course when by the end of it, you are none the wiser? Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care and safe flying.